Goalkeepers, nervous strikers, they'll deliver. Crowd roars erupted, you can feel the quake. 80,000 voices.
Hello there, everybody. You're welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about Chelsea transfer news. Seems Chelsea obviously have not stopped. They're not done yet. Chelsea isn't done yet in the transfer window after signing um, Liam Delap. Though obviously it hasn't been made official yet, but Chelsea is still interested in a couple of more players. I hope they actually go out to get some of the players I think will really help the team go forward. But then again, let's see how it goes. And then as well, I'll be talking about some Nigerian football as well, talking about two players, that are now part of the Unity Cup squad. Now, if they get to play, against Jamaica, that's left to be seen, and maybe hopefully at least one of them gets to be involved in the friendly match against Russia after the Unity Cup. So let's go straight into it. So with Liam Delap signing, or rather medical scheduled at some point, and that means very soon it will be made official. That other links have popped up, other reports have popped up. So talking about Chelsea have the opportunity to sign Gyökeres or to sign Osimhen, or some even saying Chelsea have some negotiations with Frankfurt, at least inquired with Frankfurt about Hugo Ekitike. But we've also had some news about some defenders as well. Let's talk about Jarrad, Hato, and Jarrad Branthwaite. Now, the two young defenders with talent, of course. Branthwaite plays for Everton at the minute. Hato plays for Ajax at the moment. He is his left back primarily, but he can play as a left centre back or sometimes play in midfield. So I'm guessing the idea behind signing a player like Jarrad Hato is to get a nice backup for Marco Corella. Now, for me, while that technically is good, it's a good thing because you just don't want to have one good player in one position. You need to have multiple players in several positions. So to provide cover, maybe a player is tired or injured or suspended, you don't lose your shape. You don't lose how you intend to play. So that's good on the face of it. The second thing I want to say is he is pretty young. I think 19, going on 20, so he is pretty young. And the question I ask, and what I've been saying is, it's good to sign other players in other positions, but make sure you tidy up the most crucial part of the pitch where Chelsea has, been, what I say, lacking an actual player to play in that role. That's the striking position. Liam Delap, medical scheduled, possibly, be made official in the coming days. But we all know that he is still another young player coming in that will be raw and will be expected to be given time to come good. Maybe this season will be written off. That is, if he is the main striker, this season will be written off to say, okay, he needs to get enough time to come good. You can't expect him to leave Ipswich Town and then come to Chelsea and immediately hit the ground running, and he's very, very young. That means this season will be written off. That's 2025-2026 season will then be written off. That means Chelsea will not be competing for the Premier League or top honours by design, except by some miracle Chelsea gets to win the Premier League or something like that. So for me, if there is this question of no money, we can't pay these salaries, we can't pay this, we can't pay that, I would rather have Uche Samuel Smith, who is essentially the same type of player that Hato is. He's primarily a left back. He's got pace. He's tall. He can play as a left centre back, and he can also invert into midfield. And I think he's in and around the same age with Hato. Although for Hato, you can say he has more first team minutes, and obviously there is a difference between playing academy football and playing, first team football. playing men's football. So I get that. But we know what the primary need is, and we know Cucurella is going to be the main guy at our left back. For sure, he's going to be the main guy. So before you spend money on signing another left-sided defender, left back slash central midfielder slash left centre back, when you have Cucurella and you have Ishii Samuel Smith in the academy, because since Cucurella will be the main guy, have Ishii Samuel Smith be his deputy to learn from him, just as you have Josh Achiampong. You have Samuel Smith learning from him, coming off the bench, cup games, and things like that. For me, just to make sure if it's 70 million, if it's 80 million, if it's 75 million, if it's the wages you need to get in order, that you need money to be allocated to wages for the main striker you want to sign, whether it's Gyökeres, whether it's Victor Osimhen, you ensure you get your main striker in the building, signed up, no issues about salaries and wages. You get the player in the building, done. Then when that is done, signed, sealed, and delivered, then you can go on to say, now I want to sign a Hato. I want to sign another exciting 17-year-old winger. I want to sign another exciting 18-year-old wingback. Because you have taken care of the primary need of the team. Chelsea and Chelsea fans have been calling out for a striker ever since this Clear Lake Capital Group took over ownership of Chelsea. They've been calling out for a striker. We've had different reasons, different excuses. We've had the excuse of no money, not in the Champions League, or when we get into the Champions League, then you see what this ownership are all about. They'll go all out and get the top targets, the number one targets. And on the face of it, that's very possible, because if you have Champions League football, you can attract more players. So if Chelsea, for instance, is competing with Manchester United for the services of a player a la Liam Delap, the fact that you have Champions League football, could serve as that swinging factor to swing it in your favor. And in that regard, that's good. But you must use it for players, your top striker targets. Your courage, Victor Osimhen, you need to get them in the building. Because for me, one thing I don't want going into this 2025, 2026 season is, he's too young, he's just 21, you need to give him more time, you can't expect him to come good. No, we don't want that going into the season. You don't want that going into the season. And for me, this thing about the youngest squad in the league is not a flex. It's not a flex. The idea shouldn't be having the youngest squad in the league every season. It shouldn't be that way. So for me, Hato, I've done a video before where I said signing Hato would be a mistake if if the club refuses to sign the primary targets, the main area of need. Get a striking situation sold up. Once you have that sold up, then you can go into other parts of the pitch and then sign players. Because we have our number ones. Left back, we've got our number one in Cucurella. Right back, we've got our number one in Rich James, and Malo Gusto is his deputy. So there's no need to spend money for another right back. And then while there may be some need to spend money on a left back, it's not a desperate need. In my opinion, it's not a desperate need. So focus on the main areas, because when you spend 30 million here, 30 million there, 25 million there, that's you've ended up spending, 85 million pounds on 3 players. And on the face of it, it looks good. Oh, we signed 3 players. Rather than spending 85 million on 1 player, we've signed 3 players. It looks good. But what impact on winning would those players have? That's the question. And some fans don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this. If Chelsea is linked today to a 15-year-old, wonder kid playing in Nigeria, yeah, bring. If linked to a 16-year-old wonder kid based in Brazil, bring. But the question is, how would that player contribute to Chelsea winning now? How would that contribute? And the main area we know what the main area is. So I'll be coming back to that later. And then the other target is Jarrad Branthwaite of Everton. Now that's going to be really expensive because we know we have the English tax, of course. Once a player is English, his worth of value would always triples, and especially when you have a top four club interested in the services of the player. So the value always triples. So that means you have to pay top pound for the service of that player. But then the question I would ask again is, does it immediately change the outlook of Chelsea's defense? Does it immediately come in and becomes that top guy, that top dog in the defense? Is it really better than Colwill? Is it really better than Colwill? That's a question we need to ask. It's not just signing every young player available. You ask, is this player what we need? Does this player really solve a pertinent need, a pressing need? For me, I don't think he does. I would rather sign an experienced centre back. An experienced centre back. I've talked about Tony Rudiger, but even if that's not possible, get me an experienced centre back. Colwill has always played his best when he's had an experienced centre back by his side. We've seen it with Thiago Silva. And this season, when he's played his best, is when he's been paired with, Tosin Adarabioyo. That's when he's played his best. So pair him up with another young centre back. It just means you're doubling up on the inexperience. Now you may say it's an exciting talent. You're looking at the next 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. That's good. But the question is it really does it really feel the pressing need at this minute to help Chelsea win? I don't really think so. And especially when there's some key areas you haven't, signed players to take up those roles. Because I'm all in on this striker thing. I'm all in on signing the striker because we've cried so many times. Sometimes Chelsea fans don't want to hear this. When it's transfer window, any player the club is linked to, bring. You see compilations are made of that player. Compilation videos are made of the player. Everyone is watching. Everyone is hyping. And forgetting the need of the club. Forgetting what we cried about, during the season. What we complained about during the season. This player brings players, sign him up. And then when the season starts, you complain again. We've complained about Jackson not being, the finished product, having a long ways to go to learn. He's raw. Then you sign Liam Delap again, and people are still going on, oh, excited. Oh, but he's still a raw and young striker as well. And then you want to sign a Hato. Now he is an exciting talent with a high ceiling. But it's just that he's not a priority. The position he plays in is not a priority, in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the chats and comments about Chelsea's link to Everton defender Jarrad Branthwaite and Ajax defender Jorrel Hato. What are your thoughts and opinions on that? So what's in the chat there? Yeah, Jasim was good. Thanks for joining the stream. So for me, I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are. Chelsea being linked to Jarrad Branthwaite of Everton and also being linked with Jarrell Hato of Ajax. Now, my opinion is this. While they are exciting talents, while they have huge upside, huge high ceilings, but do they fulfill a need right now? Do they help Chelsea right now win? And for me, the striking situation hasn't been solved. The striker situation has not been solved. So for me, get it sealed up. Get that experienced striker in the building that is ready to come in right now, gives you 20 to 25 goals in the Premier League this season, that's ready to do that this season. Because not just the Premier League title, the race for Premier League title, the race for top four going into the 2025-2026 season would be more difficult than it was this past season. And it's been this past season because you have Newcastle that have got money. They're going to reinforce their squad. You know, Arsenal will still be there and thereabouts. Man City will go in and reinforce their squad again. We've seen what Liverpool is doing. Liverpool, they've got Frimpong in the building already. They've got they've almost got Florian Wirtz in the building, and I'm sure they'll go again. So do you think Jackson will be sold or will play as a left winger? There there been talks. Now, some reports have said, of course, when I say reports, these reports not from Honestin, not from Fabrizio Romano, who are like the main super credible transfer insiders. So in that regard, no, but there have been reports that Chelsea could not actively looking to sell Jackson, but if there's concrete interest and his valuation is met, probably they'll let him go. For me, I've said this before. I say Jackson as a striker is a problem. It's a problem for me. He's got the pace, he's got the skill, he's got the strength. So I think he should play that left wing role. Instead of spending 40, 50, 60 million to sign another left winger, Jackson should play that role. Jackson and Madueke should be the left wingers. Or you have Jackson, you have Madueke, you have Sancho, and then Pedro Neto. So that's about four wingers. So plus Tyreek George. So for me, the main thing should be the striking position. Jackson's finishing is poor. Earlier in the season, I thought he was improving. I thought Jackson was actually improving earlier on in the season. And, lay the true pass for him. He'll run onto the ball. He'll finish. But as the season progressed, whether it's confidence, got shattered or whatever, he just stopped performing well. And then again, one thing that is even absent in his game is that in the box awareness. In the box awareness is always something that's been missing from Jackson's game. And he'll be 24 soon. I don't think that's something he can get. Maybe when he's 26, 27, maybe. But Chelsea can't wait for Jackson to come good as a striker. I think he'll do well as a winger, but you can imagine Jackson with his pace going 1v1, a fullback, going 1v1 a left back. I think he'll do very, very well playing in that role, playing in that position. That's just my opinion, because being a striker, when people see strikers score tappings, they say, oh, he only scores tappings. They forget that it takes intelligence and sharp awareness, to find yourself, to outwit the defender and find yourself in those prime positions to convert the goals. I hope you find someone good. James is injured. I don't like Gusto much. For me, the Gusto thing is Maresca has taken away Gusto's superpower. We know what Gusto was under Pochettino, which was a wonderful two-way full right back. Pace up and down. Overlap, put the balls in the box, 1v1 defending was very good. But now you're having Maresca making Gusto play as an inverted fullback and making him play them more like a midfielder than a right back. And that's why I think Gusto's confidence is shaking. And even if you get a very good world-class right back, would he also be a very good midfielder? Because that's what Maresca wants his fullbacks to do. In addition to playing as a fullback, you should also be, in midfield. But that exposes the team tactically. Once the player moves into midfield, one long ball into that right back position, and that's the trouble. So for me, hopefully, because if you're signing someone to play for Chelsea as a right back or as a left back, the player must be able to invert into midfield and super agile as well to drop back into that right back position without losing anything, without sacrificing anything. But that is very impossible. Even Cucurella, that's the best at being an inverted fullback. When he invests in a particular way, it takes away the width from the game. It takes away that ability to create width from his game. So for me, even if you bring a world class right back, is he going to be able to live in the midfield and not be exposed? That is the problem with the right backs. Because I don't think Malo Gusto is a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think his confidence has been broken. I don't think his confidence has been broken. Do you think this season of Chelsea was good, even though we got top four and UEFA Europa Conference League? It still feels a not so good season. For me, right now, you take what you get. Just happy you get in the Champions League spot, you had a trophy. But overall, look at the points Liverpool got to win the league. I think that should be one of the lowest. That should be one of the lowest. Chelsea had the opportunity this season to compete for the title, or at least finish third or comfortably in second. But Maresca's stubbornness, for one, cost Chelsea. That's one. And the lack of a clinical striker also cost Chelsea. So that's why when I see fans just happy with Liam Delap and saying, no, I don't want a Gyökeres, or no, I don't want an Osimhen because we've got Liam Delap, I just wonder, like, haven't you been watching all these games where you see a young raw striker miss chance upon chance upon chance? And then we all complain, we all cry, we all get upset, that we miss a lot of chances and the opposition side just got one opportunity and scored. So this season, it, you're just happy that, yeah, back in the Champions League with the money it brings, it creates opportunities, for it puts Chelsea in a good position to attract players, because you're in Champions League and the money that it brings as well to the club. So you're happy for that. But the season could have been a lot better. Yeah. Sanchez's mistake was so much. Yeah, that's true. And that again lies at the feet of Maresca. It lies at his feet. Because we had Petrovic come in as the number one. No, we had Robert Sanchez first as the number one. Petrovic came in with his performances. He put Sanchez on the bench. And then Maresca comes in, whatever data is looked at, whatever thing is looked at. He said, no, Petrovic is not good enough. Sanchez is the guy. And Sanchez has made all these errors. So Maresca has done a lot of things that he needs to go into next season. He needs to rethink during his break. And when next season starts, he changes it up. Even this inverting of midfielders, of fullbacks. Now you have like 6 midfielders for 2 rows. So there shouldn't be any reason to invert your fullbacks, because you're having Andre Santos come back on loan from Strasbourg, Leslie Ugochukwu back on loan from Southampton, Dario Esugo joining the team, Lavia already there, Caicedo already there. So you have 5. You have 5 central midfielders. You have 5 central midfielders. So Nunes to Napoli, not quite sure about that, but there are always the links with Napoli. With Napoli have been linked to Garnacho. Napoli have been linked to Nunes as well, but no concrete news yet. No concrete news yet. So if not, okay, if not us getting Eucharist will be easier. Yeah, see, Eucharist is there for the top 4 clubs to sign. His release clause is not that mad. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy. Okay, so Nunez is among players that's being considered to being considered by Napoli, but nothing concrete has been done about that. So back to Gyökeres. Gyökeres' buyout clause is not that mad. It's not that crazy, you know. So it's just Chelsea doing the 26-year-old thing and all that. So Kevin De Bruyne just signed for Napoli. Yeah, I think that if you just signed for Napoli, then that's good. That's good. I'll just check that. Just check that. So if he's indeed signed for Napoli, then that's good. That's somebody I wanted Chelsea to get. That's somebody I wanted Chelsea to get because of the experience that he will bring in. So breaking Kevin De Bruyne's move to Napoli is a done deal, according to Fabrizio Romano. So according to Dimasio, okay, if it's completed, if he goes there, he will do well. He will shine in the Italian Serie A for sure. He's someone I wanted Chelsea to get because I had a feeling that he would bring experience, winning mentality into that midfield, into the team, and into the dressing room. But if he's going to Napoli, then he's going to Napoli, and we know clearly Capital will always want to protect their wage structure and all that jazz. But how much do you lose when you don't finish in the top four? How much do you lose when you don't win league titles? So that's something you have to consider. This ownership, that's one thing they have to consider. So I think Kevin De Bruyne will do well at Napoli 100%. The Italian Serie A plays at a slower pace, is a more tactical league. So I think you probably would have 20 assists. I think I'm saying this now. Kevin De Bruyne would have 20 assists in the Italian Serie A, 100%, 20 assists, and maybe he would add 15 goals to that. So that's a good move for him. Go there, nice weather, slower paced football. Yeah, I think he'll do well there. But Chelsea have missed another one, an opportunity to get someone that would have been that would have brought in experience, to the midfield. Gyökeres buyer clause is not that crazy. If Chelsea were really, if Chelsea are really interested and want to do business, then they should be able to get him in. They should be able to get him in. So I want to ask you guys, the watching now, what are your thoughts on Chelsea being linked to Jarrad Branthwaite of Everton, the defender, and also being linked with, Jorrel Hato, Ajax centre back, Ajax left back / centre back. What are your thoughts and opinions on that? I've said my opinion is this: Hato, good player. He has good upside. So he has a high ceiling as well. The potential is there. You watch him play, you see the potential. But the question is it an absolute need right now? I'll say no, because Cucurella is one of the best left backs in the world right now. And certainly, I'll say when it comes to fullbacks that invert, he'll probably be among the top three. Secondly, Ishisamuno Smith in the academy, I think, can be his deputy. And why do I say this? It still goes down to my first point. If you want, if you know, not that if you know, due to the need you need to get a striker, an actual experienced striker that can help Chelsea push up the table this season, that can come into the team and win, instead of spending the money everywhere, make sure you get your striker sealed up. Make sure you get that striking position taken care of. The Liam Delap thing is real. People don't want to listen to it. But it's real. He is young, he is raw, and by looks of things, he's not going to come in and be, and absolutely deliver for Chelsea. He will not just come in and be that guy from day one. And that's what Chelsea needs going into this 2025-2026 season. You need someone that will come in and instantly is that guy. Leadership on the pitch, goals on the pitch, showing experience on the pitch. And that's one thing I don't think Liam Delap will come in and become immediately. Maybe in 2 seasons' time he can get there. But right now, Chelsea needs an Osimhen type, a Gyökeres type, to come in. They're not just experienced, but they are goal scorers. Osimhen scored, Was it yesterday or so? So we have people who are at that level that can come in. And why I say signing Hato is a mistake is people, there's always the complaint of no money, no money, want to protect wage structure and this and that and the other one. When you spend the money across 3 or 4 players, and out of those 3 or 4 players, only one actually gets to play. Because if you sign a Hato, Cucurella would be the number one guy, and then Hato will barely play. Hato will barely play. So why spend that money on him when you've not taken care of your primary need? That ever since Clearlake and Bluco took over Chelsea, that need has been there. That need has been there, and it's been very obvious. For me, if you sign that striker, completed the done, then beautiful. Go ahead, sign any 20-year-old, for the future. But you're taking care of that main position. Cucurella after Euros became so good. Yeah, he's good. He's that guy at left back. He's one of those people that brings spirit and aggression into the team. When he's defending, you see how he defends. When he's pressing, you see how he does. So he's very, very good. He's a top guy, and he rarely gets injured. Knock on wood, he rarely gets injured. So when you have that kind of player, the question is signing a Hato really, really necessary? Is it a priority? No. For me, get the striking position sealed up. Get Petrovic in to take over from Sanchez in the goalkeeping role. You can even have Mike Penders come in. And then when you've sealed off those 2 spots, then you can go out there and spend on this 20-year-old that will come good in 5 years, sign this 17-year-old that will come good in 8 years. Instead of going after every young exciting player you sign, they come in and they don't contribute anything. Look at Vega. Look at Vega, can play centre back, can play left back. But where is he now? He's on loan at Juventus, and probably he'll be coming back. I don't think Juventus will want to sign him on a permanent deal. Probably what they want to do is a loan sort of deal. So for me, he should come back and take up that role. Because I don't want to hear all this complaint about there's no money, because he keeps spending money everywhere. Just like, for instance, someone is owing you money. Someone is owing you, let's say, £100. The person keeps complaining, oh, I don't have this money to pay you. I'm sorry, I don't have the money to pay you. But you see, he spends £10 on a wristwatch. He spends £20 on a shoe. £10 on a piece of trousers, on a pair of trousers. £20 on this. And then at the end of the day, he spent all the money in front of you, and you're asking him, but you're owing me money. And he keeps telling you, oh, there's no money. But you've seen him spend the money on everything else but paying you. Just hold on 1 second, please.
We never lose, but lose and you lose. We never lose and lose.
Yeah, so, and then the person keeps telling you, oh, I don't have money, I don't have money. But you've seen the person spend small amounts over, for a lot of different things. That's what I don't want Clearly to do. And that's what they've been doing. When it comes to paying a Yokeresh or paying a Victor Osimhen, they say, oh, there's no money, we can't pay him £192,000 a week after tax. We can't pay him that. is too much, or we can't meet buyout clause of 75 million euros, so that should be about 70, high 60 million pounds, or we can pay that. It comes to paying this 60 million pounds that is Uche buyout clause, or we can pay that is too much, or wage structure. But you sign 5 or 6 players, and each of them could be on 60, 70. So if you have 6 players on 70,000 pounds, for instance, each, that's about, is it 400, 300? That's 350,000 pounds you spent, and out of that 5, maybe 2 get to play. So whatever you're paying the rest is wasted for that season because they're not helping you win. So sometimes we should really look closely and really think as well. You need to get players in that can help you win now. So Liam Delap is a good striker. There's no doubt about that. He is a good striker, but he is also a young striker. He is also very raw, and that would mean writing off the season because the media will make the excuses, the board will make the excuses, Maresca will make the excuses, some part of the fan base will make the excuse as well to say he is young, give him time, write off the season. So if you know you're going to sign a striker like that wouldn't immediately shine or immediately come into the team and play and be that guy to drag the team possibly to a Champions League, to let's say a league title, at least challenging strongly for the league title, then there's no need to have him there. Then you must go out and get that top striker. Then there's no need to spend money everywhere else. You need to send anywhere else. And then Caicedo deal. So we talk about Rodrigo is very good, but all our squad is very filled. Some players have to go in that wing area. So talking about Caicedo signing a new deal. For me, let's look at it 2 ways. The first is, yes, it's good to secure Caicedo in the team because he is one of Chelsea's best performers. For sure. I think this season I think he should win Player of the Season for Chelsea, in my opinion, because he's been that good. Cucurella and Caicedo, I think they should get some votes. Caicedo should win Player of the Season, and Cucurella should get some votes to win Player of the Season for Chelsea. So it's good to sign him up and tie him up to a deal. But his contract is still very long. The term of his contract is still very long. So I'm guessing what is happening is they're signing him to just maybe 1 year extension addition to what is on already, and then to increase his salary and then add and maybe the performance bonuses that have been included in his salary for him to get that. So it's good to secure Caicedo in because he is one of Chelsea's top performers, and I think it's good to reward your top performers in the team. And I think clearly Capital as well, they're trying to be what I call it now, a bit smart as well. We'll hold on to you if you have a long deal. If Real Madrid comes tomorrow wants to sign you, when they see you have such a long contract, then whatever they'll have to pay, they know they have to pay a large amount. Maybe they'll have to pay 120, 150, £1 million. So that's fine by me. So, and when I talk about Delap, people think, oh, I don't like the guy, I don't want him to play for Chelsea, throw him away. No. If Delap tomorrow comes good and proves me wrong and starts, and scores 25, 30 goals in the season, then bravo. You've done well. You've proved people like me wrong. I'm not hating him. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying why should he be at Chelsea. I'm just saying he can't be that main guy right now. Palmer came good immediately. That's fine. But when we look at other young players in the team, how many of them have come good like Palmer? So if Liam Delap, I hope as well, Jazim, I hope as well that Liam Delap comes good. that he comes good. Immediately comes in World Cup. He comes in, starts scoring goals for fun. Come start of the season, he continues scoring goals for fun. Good. If that happens, fine. You know. But the thing is, why say all this is that we've had lots of young players. We had David Dato Fofana that was signed as a striker, didn't see game time. Rather, Kai Havertz was played as a striker. We had all the complaint. He's too young, inexperienced. That's why Havertz is playing as a striker and not Fofana. And the things I pointed out about the lap, I pointed out about him. I think if you get a Osimhen in, you get a Gyökeres in, it would help the lap improve. It will help him really, really improve, in my opinion. So, guys, I'll just go for a 5 minutes break. I hope you guys stay tuned. I will come back very, very shortly. 5 Yeah, so I'm back. Sorry for that break in transmission. Kai Havertz. Well, for me, Kai Havertz, I don't hate Kai Havertz for one, but he's not a striker. So he was done a disservice at Chelsea by Tuchel, by Lampard that played him in that striking position. And I think the same thing is happening, at Arsenal. So I don't think he is a striker. So playing him in those positions just doesn't work for me. And then for me, I think the thing he said when he went to Arsenal that winning the Champions League is good, but it would be sweeter to win it for Arsenal. Just made me think he didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say that. So, um, well, he's at Arsenal now. He's an Arsenal player. Let's see what happens to him. But just saying, if you just join the stream, I'm talking about Chelsea being linked to Jarrell Hato, Jarrad Branthwaite from Everton. Do you think that those will be good buys for the team, in the present and in the long run? Do you also think there are areas of priority, or do you feel just like me that more focus should be on getting that main guy in, that main striker, that experienced striker that is ready to go now, and score goals now? Do you think that is the way to go? Or do you have implicit belief in Liam Delap that he will come good immediately, he will be the guy? Now, for Liam Delap, there are two sides to it. You have the first side, which is he scored 12 goals for Ipswich Town, a side that the moment the season started last season, this season not yet ended, but in the 2024-2025 season, you knew that they were candidates for relegation. So for a striker to come up, young striker, to have that impact on play, score 12 goals, and be an absolute menace to defenders, Chelsea experienced it firsthand, you know. So that means, or that could point to some fact that if indeed he comes, if indeed he comes to Chelsea, he would have more opportunities and then he can even score more goals. Now, that's a fair argument. But the second side of that is this: when you play for Ipswich Town, with due respect, a team that just gained promotion, teams defend against you differently. You have more space as a striker because people are pressing high up, are pushing high up against you. You have space to run in behind. You're not marked as tightly. But when you're playing for a top four, top six side, you're marked differently. The, you're, you have that boom backing you more tightly. You don't have that much space to go in behind because the opposition team will respect you so much that they may sit back a bit, make it difficult for you to break through. And on the flip side of it, there's the pressure. You know, Nicholas Jackson scored 14 goals this season, and Chelsea fans, you and I, and pundits alike, don't see that as being enough. We see that as being a poor return. But when you score 12 goals for Ipswich Town, it's seen as, oh, he's tried, he's done well, oh, he's good. So that pressure, can he meet up the pressure? That is the point. And then Yasim says Chelsea is spending £90 million on Eketike. Such a waste, according to me. £90 million on Eketike is crazy. I think £84 million was there about, or maybe they have done what they did with Enzo, where they said we're going to pay more than the release clause so that you allow us more installments, to pay the money in more installments. So maybe that's what's happening if indeed they go for him. For me, I think once again I'm saying this, he can come good. And if he comes good, bravo. Bravo. But one, in terms of profile of striker Chelsea needs, he's not. That's the truth. I like him. I've been following Ekitike for a while. As third Reims, went to PSG, didn't quite perform, and then went to Frankfurt. He's had a decent season, 22 goals, 12 assists, which is decent. But for the profile of striker Chelsea needs, is he quite the player? Is he quite that striker that Chelsea needs? Don't forget, Chelsea we play with two wingers. So he usually has to cut in there. He's a different profile. That means maybe he brings something different to the striker, you know, to the attack and makes things a bit more complicated for opposition defenders. Fair game. But for me, if Chelsea had a Gyökeres already in the building or an Osimhen in the building, I'd say, okay, yeah, Ekitike, decent player, da. But you don't have those main guys in the building. And now, no, if Ekitike is signed, that becomes so. Yasim says, if Ekitike is signed, if Ekitike comes, do we still have chance for Gyökeres and Osimhen? For me, that is the problem. That is where I have my whole issues with. Because for Victor Osimhen, his release clause right now is 75 million euros, and you're saying it's too much. You're saying a salary of 192, is it 92 or 98? Something I think between 192 and 196,000 pounds a week. You're saying it's too much. After tax, it's too much. But you want to spend north of 84 million pounds on a player like Hugo Ekitike that would yet again come in, need time to settle in. And in addition to the fact that he is not the profile of striker that Chelsea needs. He just isn't. When the ball's coming to the box, we've seen it this season. Crosses coming to the box, Jackson nowhere to be seen. Would Ekitike be there? Now, for me, Liam Delap is more of a better fit, but he lacks experience, he lacks pedigree. For Ekitike, he's very, very technical, he's fast, he's aggressive, he's pacey, but he's not the right profile that Chelsea needs. He can be something different. And then if you sign him at 84 million pounds, that means that's it. That means you're going to the season with Liam Delap and Ekitike. And for me, it just wouldn't make any sense, to spend that money on a project striker. Arsenal want to do the same thing with Sesko. Is it 90 million pounds or thereabouts? Some say it's a lot closer to 80 or something like that. But to spend that much money on a striker that will come in and be a project striker, for me, it's not my money. So I can't tell people don't spend. But if you really have the interest of the club at heart, then you spend the money on players. You spend the money on players that are ready to come into the team now and deliver. No excuses. No, he's young. No. You come in right now. You're coming in to deliver. This is the sixth window. Sixth window under player like capital. Can't we start João Felix on Nkunku if they don't get sold? See, for me, João Felix and Nkunku, this is how I look at it. Nkunku is a top player. Top player. Nkunku is a top player. 100% is a top player. But his head is no longer at Chelsea. And it's because, in my opinion, just my opinion, I think it's because of the way Enzo Maresca used him, played him out of position for a long time, and then we'll bring him in 3 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. And the final of the Conference League, he didn't get to play. So that just tells you that Maresca doesn't quite see him as his man. João Felix is another one. João Felix, everyone is criticizing João Felix, wanting to make fun of him. But if you really watch him play, when he played for Chelsea, the few moments he had to play, you see that he was good. The thing is, Maresca refused to play with 2 10s, and he also refused to bench Cole Palmer no matter what. Whether he was struggling, he was injured, he will always play Cole Palmer. So if he goes in with that mindset, then João Felix and Nkunku, it will be difficult for them to get game time. Because there was a game, I think it was the semi-final of the Conference League. Palmer looked shattered, but Maresca didn't want to make any change. So for me, I think Nkunku and Felix technically are very, very good players. Now, the thing with João Felix is that's why for players, your first big move, you have to be very careful where you go to. Because João Felix now has this brand around him about he's not that good, he's not as hyped, that the hype is just all hype and it's not that good. João Felix at Benfica was very good playing off the striker, very good scoring goals, assists, and then he went to Atletico Madrid, and we all know the type of football Diego Simeone plays. Some people want to call it anti-football. For me, I don't like that because I feel in football there are different styles to play. That's why you have different formations: 4-3-3, 3-4-3, 5-3-2, different formations to play, different ways of playing. So Simeone's style of play is his style of play, and is entitled to play that way. But João Felix doesn't fit into Atletico Madrid. He didn't fit into how Atletico Madrid, wanted to play at that time. So he went there, eyes of the media, big move, golden boy, it didn't work. But people refuse to look at the nuance, that the style of play, the system did not suit him. And then he came to Chelsea. Don't forget that João Felix was very good. People blame him so much for his shots hitting the bar. Yes, that's unlucky. Sometimes it happens. And then Lampard came in and played him out of position, because João Felix cannot be a typical winger for you. He cannot be that winger that would hold width, outpace players. No. When he plays behind the striker, you see the magic he can do. And Lampard played him out of position. But, Lampard, legend of the club, all the fans, I love Lampard. He's my favorite Chelsea player ever. But all the fans will always follow, will always back Lampard, even if the guy was played out of position. Now, back in the team, he was signed back by Chelsea, and Maresca, whatever reason, only wanted to play Palmer. And I get it. Palmer is Chelsea's, at least everyone would agree, is Chelsea's most important player. If Palmer plays well, everything works well, in the club, on the pitch. So he refused to play him in his position. Same thing with Nkunku. Nkunku played very well during preseason, and then the first game of the actual season, he was played out of position. So I think with that, Nkunku's brain is no longer at Chelsea. So I think he should be going. I think that's best. I would love it if it can be turned around somehow and he gets to play for Chelsea. I would love it, but I don't think that's going to happen. So it's best for both parties, the club and for him. I think he should be sold, maybe sold to Bayern Munich or so to Leipzig. Let him go back there and shine again. And I think he can be good for Manchester United because Amorim likes to play his 3-4-3 with 2 10s behind one striker. So imagine you have Nkunku there, and they can even send João Felix. If they have brains, João Felix and Nkunku as those 2 10s, it will be wonderful for them. But obviously, I don't want Manchester United to do well. So he should be sold outside of the Premier League, and same thing with João Felix. Unfortunate. These are top, technically gifted players. But Enzo Maresca, for me, I feel he's still looking at certain things with the mindset of a coach that's coaching a championship team, where you have one very good player, you make sure that player plays, and you don't drop him. And that's the problem. That's the problem. So, but overall, I think both of them would have to go, because if you're not playing, there's no need being in the team and putting pressure on the wage bill. I do not like Manchester United. I just don't like them. I've never liked them at all. So I wish they could get relegated. But if we should be our horses, you know what? So I do not like Manchester United. But you need to get João Felix and Nkunku off the wage bill, because they're not going to play. Maresca is not going to play them. He will say all he will say in the press conference. Oh, these players are good. Oh, they train well. Oh, they are part of the group. But he won't play them, so there's no need. There's no need to have them in the team. And that's what I'm talking about, Ekitike. That's what I'm talking about, Ekitike. When João Felix was signed, I said this. I said João Felix is a very, very good player, top player. But he wasn't needed at the club. Amorugian was the guy. Big, powerful, pacey striker. That's what Chelsea needed for whatever reason, they found a way to spoil that deal and sign João Felix. Sign João Felix. Omorogion, Samuel Omorogion was a player that should have been signed. That should have been signed by Chelsea, because that was an area that Chelsea needed. Well, Garnacho, now for me, the Garnacho thing is you're just hoping and praying he's good. That's the only thing. You can't say for sure. And Chelsea can't keep doing those sort of things where you sign a player, that's not performed well at one club, and you bring him in and hope he comes good. Now he can come good because all the players that have left Manchester United, they've done well relatively at their various clubs. Anthony left Manchester United, went to Real Betis, got to the European final. Rashford left Manchester United on loan, went to Aston Villa, played very well, and there are some reports of Barcelona having interest in him. So you may say that can happen for Garnacho as well, but he is another bird with a broken wing. So are you bringing him in again to say, oh, we're going to nurse him back to health, somehow he's going to come good and all that? So for me, going into this season, what I want is for Chelsea to get their absolute number one targets, the absolute best players in that position, whether it's the striking position, left wing position, right wing position, get the absolute best players in each of those positions, so from day one, they come in and they play. Jassim says that I feel like Lookman can be a decent fit also. Lookman is the African Footballer of the Year. Lookman is a top player. Right now, he's a top player. He's developed so much from when he was at the Charlton move, the Charlton, Fulham, Leicester, Everton, and then he went to Atalanta. He's improved massively, scoring a hat-trick, in the Europa Cup final, in the Europa League final, sorry. So top player. So if he comes in, and I think he will be cheaper than Rodrigo, way cheaper than Rodrigo. He has skills, he has pace, he has an eye for goals. He can actually score goals. I think he scored 18 or so goals this, or even more than that this season. So he's the guy that can score goals. But for me, so if he signed, I wouldn't complain. But for me, first thing, seal up striker position, then take charge of it. Then you begin to take care of the other positions. If you can do it simultaneously, if you can sign Osimhen, if you can sign Ademola Lookman immediately, get in Petrovic as in the goalkeeping position, good, then we're good to go. But for me, the area of priority still remains that striking position. So now I would come back to Chelsea-related news, but now I want to talk about some Nigerian news as well. And there's a player that was linked to, that had links to Chelsea at some point, but not so concrete links. It's Uche Chrisantus, plays for Getafe, and he has joined up with the Nigerian national team, Nigerian Super Eagles team, for the Unity Cup. I don't know if he will get to play. In the final versus Jamaica, but I'll just share this video. This is a video of him singing his initiation song. When you join the team for the first time, your teammates and the staff, they will love to hear you sing a song. So this is his initiation song. So I'll just share this, and then I'll come back to so. But he's a player that get well in the move and in a friendly match against Wolves. So, and yeah, so, so, so that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. So top player. He was at one point linked to move to Chelsea. That didn't quite work out. And to be fair, I don't think it was really a serious interest from Chelsea, but more like an exploratory sort of interest. So nice to see him part of the team, and we'll get back to talk more about him and another Nigerian youngster that has joined up with the Super Eagles at their camp, and hopefully could be part of the team to play in the game versus Jamaica in the Unity Cup. So back to talking about Chelsea. So for me, let's see. Hopefully, we can get all the number one targets going into this season at the end of this transfer window, going into the Club World Cup, and going into the start of the Premier League. So let me get your takes on Jarrad Branthwaite, Jorrel Hato, uh, Jarrad Hato. What are your thoughts on them? And then thoughts on Jassim Mercedes. I know I saw this news somewhere. Jassim said Manchester United is interested in Jackson. Yeah, so I think he could be a good fit for them in a way because I think um, Manchester United under Amorim, the way he wants to play is a more sort of direct transition type of play, just like that's how we use Gyökeres. So he could be a fit for them there. But for me, I just don't want to help. I don't want to help Manchester United at all if I can help it. So but there was reports that they're interested in him, but I don't think they're concrete yet because usually once they're concrete, we get talks from Ernestine or Fabrizio Romano. So, but I think he would, as a fit, I think he would fit in to what Manchester United are trying to do. But for me, I don't want to help Manchester United anyhow. I wanted to finish 18th the next season, So let's say good fit. Yeah, well, so for me, Jackson, people say he's young, but he should have developed a lot more. And um, Hope Sanchez, Hope Sanchez to Manchester United. If he's Sanchez to Manchester United, I would drive him myself. I would drive him myself or carry him on my back myself and go to Manchester and go to Old Trafford. If they're ever interested in him, but I don't think that'll ever happen. Can you imagine if Manchester United replaces Onana with Sanchez? I'm sure Amorim will be sacked and they'll probably kidnap Jim Ratcliffe. But I don't think that's going to happen. That's only we can only wish or hope or dream. So but speaking about Sanchez, I think Chelsea would need to replace him. Whether it's in-house, getting a Mike Penders or a Petrovic to come in and take his spot, or you go out and sign somebody. But the thing is, any of the top goalkeepers will cost you serious, serious money. Of course, you can't get Courtois. He's not leaving Real Madrid. He's going to retire at Real Madrid. He's not living there, that's for sure, 100%. And then if you talk about Mike Mignon, I'm not sure he's ready to leave AC Milan at the minute, but you can try to make a serious bid for him. He's another, top goalkeeper. Diego Costa, Diogo Costa rather, not Diego. Diogo Costa that played for FC Porto. At one point, he was one of the highly rated goalkeepers, for me. So, but his stock has sort of dropped a bit. So maybe this is an opportunity for Chelsea to go get him at a reduced rate. But so I don't want Sanchez in reserves also. For me, I don't want him anywhere. I just want him gone. I just want him gone. under Strasbourg, you have to respect Strasbourg. You don't just dump every, waste on them. I would have said Sanchez should go to Strasbourg, but you want Strasbourg to do well as well. So you don't just take someone that is not performing well, obviously, and give to them. For me, Sanchez should be put on the market. He's an European Cup winner, so he's lifted the title up. He's got that medal. So I think someone should be interested in him, but I just think if Chelsea wants to win the league, while for me, the striking position is the most important one, 100% is the most crucial, the most important, the most needed position to be filled. But after that, the goalkeeping position is the next one. And Sanchez doesn't need to be at the club anymore. Don't hate him. I don't say get out of the club. No, just your time is up. You've come in. You've contributed. You've made your own contribution to Chelsea. You've helped Chelsea one way or another make top four. You've helped them win the Conference League and the European Cup. So you've helped. You've helped finish in Champions League spots. Like you made some good saves. Nottingham Forest game. But at this point, it's come to the point where it's time for you to now leave, because if Chelsea wants to progress, really, really progress, challenge for league titles, challenge, for Champions League, I don't think Rob Sanchez is the guy. He's too inconsistent. Some days he can come in, make some crazy saves that it makes you scratch your head. Wow, how did that happen? But most times he just makes you think. It just makes you think that his mind is somewhere else. He's not quite concentrating on the game. So I think he has to go. So more on speaking more about Nigeria now. Benjamin Fredricks, player at Brentford, that won the under 21 player, Brentford's under 21 player of the year. He's also been part of the Unity Cup team. And for me, I want to see what he can do. I think he is a fullback. I want to see what he can do in this Unity Cup game. And I'll be watching that game. I want to see what he's all about, because I think he played for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. That's the under 20 Super Eagles team, under 20 Nigerian national team. Not this one that played in this AFCON, but in the previous team, in the prior team. So let's see what he can do. He's a top player. And I think Nigerian national team head coach Eric Chale should have his eyes peeled on this sort of players, to have them in the building rather than having the likes of Ahmed Musa come in and definitely not contribute anything. So the last game, what did Ahmed Musa contribute? Nothing. So all those who have been backing him, how far? You've backed him. What did he do? What did he bring to the team? Nothing. So that's that. So if you're just new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel, share the video, the content as well to people you feel will be interested in this channel. Let the channel continue to grow. So what we have been talking about, what I've been talking about today, firstly has been the links to Jarrad Hato, Jarrad Branthwaite, Everton and Ajax and Everton players respectively. Do you think that's something Chelsea needs at this point in time? Do you think it's a smart buy? And maybe you get them on the cheap now before their value, skyrockets. What are some opinions on it? Your opinion can be different from mine. I just feel like they don't play, while they're talented players, they don't play in the position that Chelsea actually need players. And for Jorrel Hato, you already have someone in-house that can fill that role, because Cucurella has been so good that he has that left back spot on lockdown. So there's no need to go spend 30, 40, million pounds or even more to get in another left back / left centre back, or someone that can invest from the left into the team, when Cucurella will be the main guy. And there are other areas where you need, to sign players in. Yeah, you need to sign players in. And I also think that even the need to invest fullbacks into the midfield, for me, is redundant, because you've got defensive midfielders coming into the team. And the Santos will be returning on loan to Strasbourg, and he said it, that it is his dream to play for Chelsea. So he's returning on loan from Strasbourg after a fantastic loan spell with them. You have Leslie Ugochukwu that played well for Southampton, though they got relegated. He's coming in. You have Dario Esugo, the Sporting Lisbon midfielder that was signed, that was unknown to Las Palmas. He's coming back as well. Then you have Lavia, you have Caicedo. So you have 5 defensive midfielders, 5 sixes in your team. For me, there's no at that point there's no need to invest fullbacks predominantly. So that's how I look at it. And then Jarrad Branthwaite, he was going to be another inexperienced centre back that will be playing alongside Colwill, another inexperienced centre back. And we know Colwill plays well when he has, an experienced centre back by his side. Except we are saying Tosin Adarabayo, another Nigerian, suddenly becomes the number 1 centre back, where Jarrad Branthwaite or Colwill will be by his side. Then with that would make some sense. But for me, I would prefer Chelsea going all out to sign an experienced centre back. Because in this team, you need leadership. You can have all the skill in the world, which is very good, all the technique in the world, which is very good. But that experience, how to read the game. There are many times we watch this season where Colwill has played the entire attack, of the entire opposition attack onside. And I don't think that would happen if you have a truly class experienced centre back by his side. So that's where I feel. Maybe if I say Anthony Rudiger, people will say, "Oh, his salary will be too much," but the winning mentality that guy would bring into the team, leadership will bring into the team is immeasurable. How do you measure, that winning spirit, that winning mentality? You can't measure it. You cannot measure it. So that's my thoughts on all these players that have been linked to Chelsea, and then we heard about Uche Chrisantus again, and Chelsea may want to pay 90 million, to sign him. I'm asking myself, really, 90 million? Is he going to come in day one and hit the ground running and start scoring goals left, right, and center? Would he or he becomes another project striker? And the thing with Frankfurt is you must be careful with Frankfurt. Frankfurt, they know how to get their strikers to play for them and score goals. But when the strikers leave that club, some of them struggle. We've had Jovic go there, and then Real Madrid signed him. He struggled. He left Real Madrid, went to AC Milan. He struggled. Then we had Hela. He was with them, and then he was bought for big money by West Ham, and he struggled. Couldn't quite cut it. Now he's left. So the only one that's left and has come to Premier League and has been really good has been Omar Mamouche, that moved from Frankfurt to Man City. So he's been fantastic for Man City. So maybe Ekitike can come in and be that. But I'm saying it again. You should have gone for a Gyökeres. You should have gone for a Victor Osimhen. Why I'm mentioning this too is that you can't get Isak. It's not going to happen. Isak, it's not going to happen. He's at Newcastle. They're in Champions League. In the Champions League, their owners have the money to pay him whatever wage demands he may have. They also have the money to strengthen their team. So you can't get him. He's off the table. Harry Kane is off the table. For one, his age, he's already into his 30s, and he's at Bayern. They're not going to let him go. You're going to have to cough up top money to get him. Top money to want to get him. Same thing with your Lewandowski. Lewandowski is 34, 35. You can't get Lewandowski because his salary, if you're complaining about Victor Osimhen's £10 million salary demands, that £10 million a year demands, then you can definitely not match Lewandowski's £30 million salary that he earns at Barcelona. So that's it. So news came, Rodrigo wants to stay at Real Madrid. Yeah, you always suspect that. Not quite sure the news, but you always suspect that he wants to stay. And the thing for me, I think, is how Ancelotti used him. Ancelotti used him more like an impact sub, with Vini Jr. being the main guy, with Bellingham being the main guy, with Mbappe now being the main guy, and Rodrigo was more of, an impact player, impact substitute, and his favorite position is, that right wing, left wing, and that's where Vini wants to play, and that's where um, Mbappe sometimes likes to play. So that spot is crowded. So I'm guessing why he's hoping, why he may want to stay back at Real Madrid, is that you've got Xabi Alonso coming in, and Xabi Alonso could possibly have, a different way for him, to play. So thanks, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all we've discussed today, all we've talked about on the channel. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. So at this point, I want to thank everyone who's watched this video, subscribe to the channel, who's continue to share this channel to other people to watch the content. Really, thank you. And we'll continue to grow. And I'll see you on yet another video.